Hi everyone, Jacqueline here. So today I want to talk to you about planting Cosmo flowers. Cosmo flowers are a staple in the garden landscape. They look beautiful in flower beds, borders, and arrangements. They come in a variety of colors and heights. So I want to share with you the Cosmos varieties I am adding to the garden this year, and I will be planting these seeds directly into the garden after all dangers of frost have passed. Since Cosmos are super easy to germinate, I can direct sow them and be successful without having to start them inside. If you do want to start Cosmos inside, it is recommended that you start them 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost. So let's get started. Let's look at the Cosmo varieties that I am planting this year, and I hope you find this inspirational to add more Cosmos to your garden.
So this is Snow Puff. I call this one Powder Puff, but its real name is Snow Puff. This was my 2022 favorite Cosmo for the summer. It was absolutely stunning. You can see here the bees and pollinators just loved it. This was the first time I ever grew this Cosmo, and it inspired me to invest in more double flowering Cosmos. This shade of white has a slight tinge of pink in the sunlight, and the pollinators loved it. It is a 24 to 31 inch high Cosmo with ferny foliage, which is common to the Cosmo. It reminds me of a small dahlia or aster. It was absolutely stunning, and I enjoyed watching it grow and the pollinators being attracted to it. I highly recommend this one. I did have a few comments from viewers that were interested in what this Cosmo was so that they could add them to the garden. So this is what started all my Cosmo envy. The Double Click Cosmo is a beautiful double, semi-double flowering Cosmo that comes in whites, pinks, magenta, and cream color. It's a favorite of Cosmo growers due to the double flowers and the statement they make in the garden. This is one I'm anxious to grow after growing the Powder Puff slash Snow Puff white Cosmo. I think this will be a beautiful addition to my garden. The last double flowering Cosmo I want to talk about is Double Click Rose Bonbon. This comes in a soft lavender pink color. Its height is 42 to 46 inches, like most Cosmos. It's a stunning Cosmo because of the soft pink shades. If you have a garden that you prefer to keep into the cooler palette, then this is the Cosmo for you. Apricotta is a new variety of Cosmo that has just been introduced. It is an apricot pink in color with a nice ruffled edge. The center of this flower is almost a lavender in color with a hue of pink and apricot petals. The shades can range from pink rose to a pink apricot. The average height is 36 to 48 inches. It is very unique colored Cosmo, and I'm super excited to try growing it. Seashell Mixed is an unusual tubular-shaped Cosmo. It comes in colors of fuchsias, pinks, and whites. They have ferny foliage and they can grow to a height of 3 or 4 feet and spread 18 inches. They will germinate if they're directly sown in 7 to 14 days outside or can be started inside 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost if you want blooms earlier. Sweet Kisses is a deep magenta and white color Cosmo. Its foliage is bushy and airy, and this Cosmo will reach up to a meter tall, so perfect for the back of a border. It is easily germinated with direct sow, or you can start it inside 4 to 6 weeks before the first frost. Candy Stripe is a pink and white single Cosmo. This particular Cosmo reminds me of peppermint candies with its pink, almost magenta, and white stripe. This is super pretty. It's been available for quite a few years and a garden staple. Sometimes you will get a solid colored crimson Cosmo in the mix with the stripe. It takes 5 to 14 days to germinate, and it's one of the shorter Cosmos, growing 8 to 12 inches tall. If you like a tropical feel in your garden and you love the bright oranges and yellows, then Polydor Mixed is the one for you. This Cosmo comes in shades of bright orange and golden yellow. These grow about 30 inches high, so they are much shorter than the average Cosmo. They are ideal for the middle of a border when you need a splash of bright color and would look fantastic with Asiatic orange and yellow lilies.
So that's it, everyone. I hope you found this selection of cosmos that I'm adding to my garden inspiring, and that it encourage you to add a different kind of texture and or variety of cosmo to your garden that you've never tried before. I find that cosmos are starting to take off. They're getting more attention and they're becoming one of the recent crazes in flower growing for the average home gardener, because they're so beautiful and they are so versatile in what you can do with them in the garden and in flower arrangements. There are many more varieties and colors this year than any other year that are beautiful and look wonderful. I hope you enjoyed this video and let gardening warm your soul, and I'll see you in the next video, friends. Bye.